Nation.
Good morning.
Just checking in with you, make sure you're still sane.
Yeah. It's over a month now without really doing too much, so it'd be real nice to be able to go outside and actually, sit on a patio,
socialize.
Somebody.
Yeah. That was actually our discussion this morning. We were talking about what bars and restaurants do you miss right now? Because yesterday, boy, 19 degrees, sunny skies. I could have been sitting on a patio with a pint in my hand. Yeah.
Maybe a pint of that Oiler Nation beer.
Yeah, there you go. Are you guys delivering that? Baggedmilk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're so the boys are delivering around the Edmonton area.
Okay.
The support has been incredible. Actually, we sold out batch 2 in less than 24 hours. So we're trying to see, along with our partners at Dog Island Brewing out in Slave Lake, to see how we can increase production. They're even looking at buying new equipment just to
keep up.
Make more of our beer.
All right. Well, let's get to the important stuff. We were just talking about a guy in the UK who had a dental emergency, and him and his 12-year-old son removed his tooth for him.
Took him an hour.
Yeah, it took him an hour. And we were talking about whether or not you could remove your own tooth. You?
Well, I've watched Castaway with Tom Hanks, a handful of times, and he did it with a skate and a rock. So I feel like with the tools I've got in my house, I got a couple of pairs of pliers. I've got enough tequila to bend my mind around the idea. I think I could do it.
I could do it for sure. Yeah. So these two are a little squeamish.
There's no chance I don't think I could do it.
If you're in that much pain, though, it's about the relief, Grant.
Yeah.
I'd much rather
hit an onion. Isn't that a thing for tooth pain?
Onion doesn't work.
I'd much rather hit myself in the head with a brick.
Auntie Shirley.
Hockey news. Jesse Puljujarvi might get an award in Europe, I saw on the Oiler Nation blog.
He's looking
dumbest guy in hockey.
Young player of one of the young players of the year. He had a great season over in Finland. Who knows what that means for when he comes back to the NHL, or what that does to his trade value. But yeah, it was nice to see him get rewarded, or at least some recognition for a fine season over there.
Do you think he could come back to the Oilers at all?
I mean, I still thought that last year was last year, depending on how you look at it, I thought it was a good opportunity for him to come back with a new coach and new management, considering some of the problems he had before they were gone. However, he doesn't seem to feel that way. So I don't know if he's changed his tune over the last few months, especially. I mean, if I'm Jesse Puljujarvi and I'm looking at how good the Oilers were this year, I'd want to be a part of that. But at the same point, I'm not in the dressing room. I don't know what his beefs are. So in my heart, I would like to say I hope so, because the Oilers could use him on the depth chart. But, I have no idea. It's just a guess, really.
I had an interesting sort of thought regarding the whole, and it kind of ties into hockey a bit. Well, I can tie it into hockey. So Brady leaves the Patriots. Yep. And the speculation is that he didn't really get along with Belichick, or that there was a falling out there and he had just had enough, so he's going to go finish off his career in another market. Fine. I mean, if that's the case, then it is what it is. But a guy like Gronk deciding to go back and play with... Do you think hockey players have the same affinity for their teammates, or do they have more reverence for their organization? Because I think it's the other way around in hockey.
We've seen some players that have kind of done what Gronk did yesterday, in the sense that I will only be traded to team X or Y kind of thing. Like, specifically, I think of when Martin St. Louis left Tampa Bay. He said, I will only play for the New York Rangers, which kind of handcuffed Steve Yzerman at the time. Like, how can you maximize a return when the guy says he will only go to one team? So there is a little bit of that in the NHL. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it's anywhere near, like, basketball is the craziest one. Those guys just seem to want to play with their buddies, and they move around every couple of years. So I don't think the NHL is anything like some of the other major sports, but it was interesting to see Gronk come out of retirement and go to Tampa Bay, and then they released that weird video on Tom Brady's Twitter account this morning of him blowing into a conch or whatever, and Gronk running out of the woods. It was like... It's all weird, man. I don't know. These athletes, though, they do kind of control. They can control what they can control. And in that sense, it's where they play. And if they want to play, and for Gronkowski, he could have just stayed retired and ended up on TV if he wanted, I suppose.
It's funny you're talking about, like, players loving organizations and stuff. And then I looked at Oilers Nation, your webpage, and there's a story about Sam Gagner potentially returning for a third go around with the Oilers. Are you guys running out of stuff to write about?
No, there was that came up earlier this week. Mark Spector from Sportsnet said that he has heard some rumblings that Sam Gagner could come back as a free agent on a low-cost deal and eventually end up in Oilers management, because I guess Ken Holland thinks the world of him. So that's where that story came from. But to answer your other question, yes, we are running out of things to write about. And we need sports to come back so that we're not just making things up. And because pretty soon I'm going to start just writing stories about puzzles and 90 Day Fiance. So
or the locker room daily duels. Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching those, and I'm going to start covering those because there's been some interesting events, some hard battles, and I'm just looking for any kind of sports I can get at this point.
Are you going to watch the Great One versus the Great Eight showcase, them playing video games tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I want to check it out because they are actually, it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
They're raising some money for the Edmonton Food Bank as well as a similar cause in Washington. So I think they're doing it for a great cause. I have no idea how many vids Wayne Gretzky actually plays. So there are some theories going along that one of his boys is going to be there. Ty Gretzky's playing and Wayne's just got a controller that's not hooked up to anything.
That would make sense, because if I were going to play NHL against Lochlin, it would just be a bloodbath because he doesn't play video games.
I got so mad at the Den of Sadness when Jimmy was trying to get me to play some stupid Star Wars game that I kicked a hole in his TV. Right? I can't do it. Right? I mean, if it's not the Wii, I'm out.
And you're similar age to Gretzky, so
yes, he's about the same age as me. I think he's 56, isn't he?
Something like that.
Yeah, we're close.
Well, with him, you never know, right? Like maybe he got super competitive and he's been practicing for the last 2 weeks straight.
That's the thing.
You never know, right? I have no idea.
Yeah,
but I'm going to check it out. I think it's for a great cause. I'd like to see them raise a bunch of money for the Edmonton Food Bank. So
nice.
I think it's a fun thing they're doing.
All right. Well, we'll let you get the dog out for a walk. Thanks for the call today, Baggedmilk.
Thanks, boys.
From Oilers Nation. Always a pleasure.